Hello, guys, and welcome back to the FPL Duo. We're back for a deadline stream. Sorry, not a deadline stream. My bad. It is a knee-jerk live reaction stream. It's a Q&A. As always, we do stream on a Sunday evening, 7 p.m., where we discuss the current game week, which is game week 25, and we also have a quick look ahead to game week 26. There was only one Premier League fixture today. Obviously, Spurs beating Chelsea 2-0. Man United have just finished against Newcastle in the cup final. Obviously, Man United have won the Carabao Cup, and we're going to get into the football and talk about our teams, how our team's done, and basically speak about how our points and rank and all that stuff as always on a Sunday. But how you doing, Jordan? You must be happy, obviously, winning the cup today.
Yeah, I'm ecstatic. I mean, it feels like in ages since Man United have won an actual cup in any competition. So it's nice to see we're back on winning form, and first trophy for Ten Hag, who's done an amazing job.
We'll get into that maybe later down the stream. But we've got a few guys coming into the chat. We've got Michael, we've got Damien. Good evening to all of you, and good evening to everyone who is joining the stream. Make sure you do drop a like on the video if you are joining in. Let's not waste any time. Let's bring up our teams from game week 25. I will go first. So here is my team, guys, for game week 25. So I'm gonna run through how it went, because it was an up and down week for me. It went from started off pretty well, I'd say. But let's get into it. So in goal, I do have Danny Ward, who did concede one goal to Arsenal. Maybe that came as a bit of a surprise to me, because I didn't watch the game, to be honest. Arsenal only won the game 1-0. But I didn't expect a clean sheet from Danny Ward, so 2 points. Is what it is. Arsenal got the win. Moving on to the back three, where it got a lot better for me. I do have Ben White, and I did say for those that were considering taking out Ben White, I thought you'd rather just keep him, because I actually thought Ben White played really, really well against Aston Villa in the previous game, in game week 24. So I had a feeling that he would start against Everton. Sorry, was it Everton? No, sorry, against Leicester. So obviously Arsenal did win 1-0, and Ben White gets the clean sheet for that, for the 7-pointer. I think he picked up a bonus point as well, didn't he, Ben White? I think he got 2 bonus, is it? No, 1 bonus.
And then, 1 bonus.
Yeah, so 7 points from Ben White, clean sheet. I can't really complain there. Happy I kept him, because I know a lot of managers have sold him by now. So he's a bit of a differential at my rank. Moving on to the surprise of the week, maybe. And something that I was very happy to see, and that was Aston Villa and Tyrone Mings keeping a clean sheet. For those obviously been following for a while, know I've bought in Tyrone Mings a couple of weeks back, for game week 25 in mind. He does go and keep a clean sheet, and he also nicked a bonus point in the end. So 7-pointer from Tyrone Mings, which I'm very, very happy about, because not a lot of people have him in their team at all. He is a differential as well at my rank. So just happy to see. Moving on to Tarkowski, who did concede, obviously, in the same game playing against Mings. They did lose 2-0. I'm not really surprised, to be honest. I didn't think Everton would do that well in that game. It was more hope. But Tarkowski, he does blank. I know a lot of people have bought Tarkowski in anyway, so he's quite highly owned. But regardless, he does have another fixture to come against Arsenal, as well as Ben White, who's got to play Everton, obviously, in the second fixture for double game week 25. But Tarkowski does blank, but we'll see what he does in that fixture against Arsenal away. Moving on to the midfield, and this is where it's been a bit up and down, I'd say, for me. Let's start off where the good stuff for my team is Martinelli. Now, as you guys can see, I decided to keep Martinelli because I thought he would actually start. I had a feeling that he got benched against Villa. I would be surprised if he got benched twice. I did think he'd start, and I thought he may miss the Everton game or something like that. But now we know he played, and he scored. So very nice to see. And at my rank, when a lot of managers have sold Martinelli, it was just very nice to see him return, get a 10-pointer. Should have been 11. He did pick up a yellow card, annoyingly, so he got the -1 for the yellow card. But he got the bonus points for 3 bonus points, plus the clean sheet point as well. So 10-pointer from Martinelli. which I'm very, very happy about. And yeah, I can't really, argue against keep the decision to keep him. Really, I was very happy. I was considering maybe taking him out, but because I had so much to do in my team, I ended up keeping Martinelli, and I'm glad I did now. And he returns with a double-digit haul. And against Everton, I think he should start, and he should get a good score for me now overall. Moving on to his teammate Saka, who did blank, got the 3 point, obviously 1 point for the clean sheet. I didn't watch the game, so I don't know how involved he was in the game. But yeah, it's actually probably a bit better for me that Saka did blank, because a lot of managers have him as captain, and I have Martinelli. And but yeah, Saka does blank, and hopefully, there's still another game left against Everton, so he can easily score in that game anyway. So we'll see what he does. That Everton fixture could be a nice one for Saka, Martinelli, Ben White, etc. So we'll see. Moving on to my captain, which is actually Salah. Now, the decision was Salah or Saka, who to captain. And as you guys will come on to, it probably was the wrong move. We should have probably went Haaland. But yeah, Salah does blank again against, who was it?
Crystal Palace.
Yeah, so I watched that game, Crystal Palace, Liverpool. Of course, it was a very, very, I'd say, low quality match. Not a great game to watch as a neutral, I'd imagine, especially if you're a Liverpool fan. It was kind of a boring game. Salah did hit the crossbar though. Liverpool didn't have many chances in that game. In the second half, right early in the second half, Salah curled it with his left foot, cut in, and then hit the crossbar. Apart from that, he didn't really have any other big chances or anything in that game. It was a bit disappointing performance after Liverpool of their high, maybe winning against Newcastle and winning against Everton. Liverpool they didn't look great, especially when you see there's no Nunes. They do have a lack of desire and a lack of impetus in the attack, or lack of pace. So yeah, we'll come on to that in a sec. But yeah, Salah did blank. Only chance he had was he hit the crossbar. But other than that, not much else. Maybe actually he could have got another assist. I think he's put Gakpo in through I think it was for one of the goals. Saka slid Gakpo through, but Gakpo oncoming goalkeeper, and he missed. So Salah could have maybe got an assist, but yeah, nothing really there. Liverpool were poor, and yeah, he's got Wolves next. We'll see what he does in that one. He's my captain, so 6 points because of the captaincy. Moving on to Riyad Mahrez. Annoyingly, he was actually benched. I knew this was a risk because I did say Riyad Mahrez could actually become benched. When he came out, I wasn't surprised. But in a sense, I was surprised because Riyad Mahrez has actually been playing really well recently. But I think Pep wants to save him a bit because he can't play him every game because obviously Champions League and then Premier League. So yeah, it's one of those. He does come on for the last 20 minutes for the 1 pointer. Annoyingly, Man City did win 4-1. So yeah, it was pretty comfortable for Man City in the end. I think if Mahrez started, obviously I would have liked him to start. Could have maybe got a goal or an assist, but either way, it was a good game for Man City, and Alvarez getting involved, Gundogan I think getting an assist. So not really anyone that we own, but Man City's still looking good. Moving on to Erling Haaland. Now, we saw what Erling Haaland, he did pick up another goal. He also got an assist. He only played 71 minutes, so he is fresh. He'll be back for the next game. Yeah, what's more to say about Haaland? Single game week, he can still score. He can still outscore, other players, as we've seen. It's not a surprise. He just carries on. I think that is now his 27th goal in the Premier League, which is ridiculous. I think he's so close to breaking the record now, which is 32. He's going to smash that now. So yeah, Haaland carries on what he's doing, scoring goals, and probably be our captain for game week 26. But moving on to maybe a bit more of a disappointment in my team, and that is Darwin Núñez. I did transfer in Darwin Núñez for a hit, and there was rumors in the deadline stream, as Jordan will probably speak about. You were very hesitant of going there. Ultimately, the rumors are always right, it seems. Darwin did miss out due to a do you remember against Newcastle when he fell over for Trippier's challenge and he hurt his shoulder? Klopp actually has come out and said Darwin Núñez played with injections against Real Madrid. So he was even injured against Madrid, but it was such a big game, they played him anyway, took injections, and that obviously has now ruled him out for that game against Palace. But it is some positive news for those that do own Darwin Núñez. It looks like Darwin Núñez will be fit on Wednesday night to play Wolves. So He's not going to have a double game week, but you'll still probably get him for that Wolves game, which is better than nothing. So at least we can hope that he plays against Wolves, and Liverpool definitely need him, because if you watch them against Palace, I think they could have done with a player like Darwin in that one. It was very stale up front. So yeah, all in all, for those that didn't know, I did take a -8. So my team's got 49 points, current team, but -8 obviously. So it's only 41 points for me. But I was actually on a green arrow. So I'm on a very, very small red arrow currently. I think it's a 10k red arrow. I was actually on like a 20k or 30k green arrow until Harry Kane scored, I believe. So it's a bit annoying. I thought, I checked my rank. I think before the Spurs game, and my rank was around 800, and it was in the 800k mark. After the Spurs game, I've got a small red arrow of to 941k, which obviously probably down to Harry Kane. I'm not sure. So we know Spurs kept a clean sheet as well. So I know there's a few managers out there that have Spurs assets. All in all, it is a very, very small red arrow. But as we know, I do have Ben White, Tarkowski, Martinelli, Saka, Salah, Darwin yet to play in the second game. So I'm still hopeful that I can turn it around and get a green arrow. But it will heavily rely on Salah doing well. I need Salah to do well against Wolves. If he doesn't, I could get a red. So we'll have to wait and see what he does. On the bench, obviously, I have players that blank, playing in the final. And that is the team, guys. 41 points with the hits taken, 941k current rank. And I've still got about 6 players left to play. Hopefully Darwin is fit. So yeah, let's move on to your team, Jordan. How your game week 25 has gone. I don't actually know. So yeah, talk us through how it's gone. Obviously, you on a free hit as well.
Yeah, unfortunately. But yeah, this game week for me hasn't been the greatest in terms of free hit. But we'll start off with Pickford, who did get a blank in that fixture against Aston Villa. They did win 2-0, so only Pickford gets 2 points. He did get an extra point though for saves that he makes, so he did get 2 out of it. He could have got 1 if he didn't make more than the saves required for a point. So at least that's something. He can get at least 4 points from maybe that Arsenal away fixture if he can get some save points again and hopefully not concede that many. Moving on to the defence, so we got again another blank from Wolves. It doesn't come out as a surprise. It was kind of going to be fortunate that they would keep a clean sheet, but Kilman only gets 2 points, as they did draw against Fulham 1-1. So no clean sheet for Kilman. They still have Liverpool away to play, but even that fixture, I don't expect a clean sheet from them in that one. Moving on to the next defender with a bit more fortune, and that was Trent, who did return with a 6-pointer. Liverpool did draw 0-0 against Crystal Palace. I was quite annoyed at this because during the game, Trent had a free kick.
Oh yeah, that's funny.
When he took the free kick, it hit Dean Henderson on the way to the goal.
Oh, Jordan Henderson.
Oh, sorry, Jordan Henderson on the way to the goal. And the way it looked like it was actually going to be a goal from where the goal was.
I was shouting at my TV at Jordan Henderson why he'd blocked it, but yeah, that was strange.
Yeah, that was very strange. It's like he was defending the ball, even though he was nowhere not in any way doing that. But just the way it looked, it was quite unfortunate for Trent, because that looked like it was going to be a goal for him and potentially a double haul. But he does get a clean sheet though, I guess, at least. So that's a nice return for him. And he has got Wolves at home next, so there's always some fortune there for Trent to get something out of that game. Moving on to the next defender, we have Tarkowski, who only gets to 1 point. Obviously, Everton did concede 2 goals against Aston Villa, so the point was taken off of Tarkowski, which leaves him with just 1 only for match time. And he does have Arsenal away next, so who knows what will happen in that fixture. Maybe Tarkowski gets something out of that, but not really much to say. Moving on to the midfield, there's pretty much not much to say in this one, but there is Saka, who does get a clean sheet point, I guess, on top of his match time played, so he does get 6 points because I did captain him. In that game, there was he could have had a penalty, Saka, but it was ruled out. So But it was one of those where it could have been a penalty, but it was unfortunately VAR decided it not to be. But yeah, it was a very quiet game. Only Arsenal scored one goal, which was from Martinelli, annoyingly, as most of us did take him out, including me, for this free hit or transfer. So yeah, it's quite, I'll say, a troll for Martinelli to score, even though he's had 6 blanks in these game weeks. But there might be some more fortune because they have Everton at home next for Arsenal. So yeah, let's hope Saka does get something from that game. It's pretty much the same story for Odegaard. It was very quiet from both of them in the Arsenal duo in the midfield. Only 3 points for Odegaard as well because of the clean sheet point that Arsenal did get in that game. And yeah, Odegaard has Everton at home next. Moving on to Salah, who, again, a very interesting game for Liverpool. The closest Salah got was hitting the crossbar from just outside the box. So he could have potentially had a goal, but unfortunately it wasn't to be. And that goal, that match did end 0-0. No one scoring, and Salah gets 3 points, 1 for the clean sheet. He does have Wolves at home next, so maybe he can score in that fixture. And finally, moving on to last midfielder, that is Iwobi, who gets the 2 points, another blank. He was involved in some places in that game. It was just good defending, I think, from Aston Villa in that first half, especially Matty Cash. I think he did really well in defence, stopping the likes of Iwobi and whatnot for Everton. So he does have Arsenal away next. So maybe this is hoping he can get something out of that game, but it's highly unlikely. He maybe just be getting 4 points. Moving on to the front three, I mean, it's very quiet as well. Nketiah, obviously, we all know we were shocked to see that he was benched. Never saw that coming. There wasn't really any rumours or anything like that until we saw the lineup for Arsenal that he was actually on the bench. So he only gets 1 point because he did come on later stages of the second half. But yeah, nothing really much to say there from Nketiah. I was a bit disappointed he was benched, and with Everton at home next, we have to see if he starts that one or if he's benched again. Moving on to the next forward is Darwin. We've obviously spoken about him. This was due to his injury on his shoulder, and yeah, he didn't play. He didn't even feature on the bench for Liverpool in that Crystal Palace game and got 0 points. Fingers crossed, he's all right for the Wolves at home fixture, and he can start hopefully in that game. And finally, we got Haaland, who we all feared that would or maybe would score in that Bournemouth away fixture, and he did. Yeah, he gets 10 points. I think it was an assist from Foden, and yeah, it was always a risk to take going against Haaland, as we all know, because he is highly owned. But to be fair, he didn't really do much damage to the rank, I guess, because of the captaincy being split between double game week players. So it's not too bad, as it was only 1 goal as well from Haaland. So it was very low damage limitation in that aspect. But he does get 10 points for the goal, and obviously the bonus on top of that, and the clean sheet as well.
No assist he got.
Oh, the assist.
Yeah, he got assist as well. I don't watch the game, but I know. Yeah, he got credited with the assist. I think it was for the second goal. I'm pretty sure.
All right, I didn't really think that counted as an assist.
Yeah, assist. He got 1 bonus, 1 assist, and a goal. 10-pointer.
Okay, well, pretty much Haaland was the highest.
Yeah, pretty
from
much. I mean, Martinelli did match him.
Yeah,
but yeah, 10-pointer from Haaland is it's one of those. I think. I think we were quite fortunate as well that he went off after 71 minutes. So if he stayed on for another 20 minutes, he may have got another one. Because obviously Man City, I think they've took the foot off the gas as well a bit after going 4-0 up.
Yeah, because it did lead to them conceding 1
Yeah.
goal, which I was quite happy to see because there was obviously Edison has really kept me clean sheets and Man City in general. But that's pretty much how my starting 11 went. I'll say it was a pretty quiet game week. I mean, no one scored in the first half in any of those matches, which was quite a surprise. And then there was a few goals in the second half, obviously. But yeah, it was a very quiet game week. I only scored 36 points, very low. I mean, there's still some fixtures to be played with teams, but yeah, it is a red arrow as well. 524k was almost 100 K red arrow, especially from Kane scoring today. So yeah, as it can only be a green arrow now. Whoever does well from the remaining fixtures, but hopefully the Wednesday fixtures that are coming up, hopefully turn that into a green.
Yeah, I was on a green until Kane. I think until Kane scored, I was on a pretty decent green. So it shows that um, even Kane, certain players are making a difference to the ranks. But yeah, okay, cool. That is the game week 25 stuff pretty much out the way. We will do another follow-up video on Thursday, along with the team selection after the fixtures to talk about, we'll recap how our teams have done. But yeah, that's it for now, guys. We're going to take some of your questions. I think I've missed a few. Nanjay says, Man United, come on, Jordan. Obviously, I'm guessing, Nanjay, you're a United fan as well.
Yeah, it's a good feeling.
Michael, it says, is James a sell? Obviously, we'll talk about maybe Chelsea. I think if he's a sell, I mean, Tricky Trees has said James plays in 28 if selected, then doubles. So I think I'd wait and see what the fixtures, if there's any after the FA Cup games, and see the permutations, what happens with that, and then that may help you make a decision. But Chelsea, they don't look great, even though they defensively. I didn't watch the whole game again of Chelsea's. I watched more of the second half. I know Spurs scored a really good first goal. Kind of came out of like blue when Oliver Skip, I think it was, just shot outside the box, went in. And then Harry Kane obviously got a late one on. So it's up to you. I think I'd wait in the FA Cup and see where they actually do double. But I wouldn't want to have many Chelsea players. Maybe Kepa, who's a decent goalie, I think, for the price. He may, as I've said, he's the only one I'd probably want in my team. Let me see any other comments I've missed. Obviously, Dan's in the chat as well. 43 points so far and 5 players still to double. Was hoping for better. I took a -8. 43 points, not the worst. I think there's a lot of low scores this week because obviously everyone pretty much has similar players. I think the only player really that helped me stand out from other teams is Martinelli, and that's because a lot of people sold him. But other than that, there's a lot of blanks as well in my team. Mings obviously did well as well, which was good. Combe, 47 points, no hits, and 5 to play. Yeah, that's no hits, then that's very good. A lot of managers took hits this week. Mahrez to Solomon for next game week, unless there are injuries, as well, says Combe. Looking at Tony for Felix and Grealish for McAllister for next week. See how the week goes. Let's bring up our teams actually, Jordan, for game week. Was it 25? Sorry,
26.
26. And then we'll just see how we look, because we are gonna have to start talking about chip strategies, etc., and blank game weeks and double game weeks and all that sort of stuff. So we're gonna do separate videos on them. I think there's a lot to unpack. As I said, a lot will depend on the FA Cup game. It's hard to plan completely until we know what the fixtures are going to be like, because we actually don't know yet exactly in it. So like Krogsberg with the comment, can you please talk about blank 28? What teams are likely to blank and who aren't? We will do a breakdown of teams that are going to blank or double. Like, we know Brentford. Jordan, you might be set up quite well for that if you bring up your team. Yeah, let's bring up your team first and see how you're looking for game week 26.
Sure.
But yeah, guys, if you are joining in the stream, make sure you do drop a like on it as always, and also subscribe to our channel if you are new. So
right. So yeah,
here's my team. Read us through your 11 players. Who have you got?
Okay, so we've got Edison, who's got Newcastle at home. We've got Shaw, who's got Liverpool away. Trippier's got Man City away, and Ben Mee's got Fulham at home in the defence. In the midfield, we've got Rashford and Fernandes, who've got Liverpool away. Mitoma's got West Ham at home. And Saka and Nketiah have Bournemouth at home. And Tony has Fulham at home, and Haaland has Newcastle at home.
Okay, so it's not the worst team. I'll bring my team up because obviously it is Liverpool Man United next week, which will be interesting. Should be a good one. And then we've got who else? You've got Fulham, not Fulham. Sorry, Brentford and Brighton players already, which is quite good because they do double coming up.
Yes, they in fact double not once but twice. So they double in 27, but also in 29 if the other competitions go the way it's planned. They should have two doubles, Brighton.
Yeah, I think
And
one of my planned moves were to bring in Matoma actually. So I'll read my team out. I've got my team on the screen right now. So in goal, I've got Danny Ward, who's got Southampton away. I've got a back three of Tarkovsky against Nottingham Forest. I've got Ben White against Bournemouth. I've got Mings against Palace. But I'm probably going to play Trippier, who's got City though. So I have a decision to make. Do I play Trippier, who's got Man City? On the midfield five, I've got Martinelli and Saka, who have Bournemouth at home. I've got Salah, who's got United at home. I've got Rashford, who plays Liverpool away. Mahrez has Newcastle at home. Mahrez could be on a transfer, potentially looking to move him out. Then up front, I've got Haaland and Darwin. So I'm going to see. I'm not going to completely rule out wild carding, etc. But we'd have to see my plans. But as of now, what can I do? Looking at my team, maybe Mahrez to someone like a Mitoma, because Mitoma will have blanks. Will have doubles coming up, and I'd want to capitalize on that. So Mitoma is one I've considered definitely looking to bring in, and we're gonna have to load up on maybe even someone like a Tony. Darwin to Tony could be worth it. Just look at their fixtures. Have you got any early ideas or plans, Jordan? What you're gonna do with your team, or?
Yeah, I had one sort of plan to do with my team. I think I'm taking out Almiron because obviously he has Man City away, and it's a very difficult fixture. And I think Almiron's dropped off of points recently in Newcastle's games, especially with Wilson returning to the team. And I think possibly going for Odegaard because he does have Bournemouth at home. So I could bring Odegaard in for that fixture, and that'd be for one free transfer. But I think that's how it stands for me at the moment in terms of transfer plans.
So is Odegaard in for Almiron?
Yeah.
And you have the money to do that?
Yeah, plenty of money to do that. So I have 4.7 million in the bank.
Okay.
So it's an easy swap for Almiron to Odegaard.
Okay, cool. I'd be tempted to play Dunk. I see you got Dunk on the bench. He's got West Ham at home, actually. Obviously, Trippier, City, Luke Shaw. I mean, the way Man United are playing, they could keep a clean sheet against Liverpool.
Yeah, and I think Luke Shaw did get an assist from that game as well, from Casemiro's goal.
Yeah, today he did get the assist for that against Newcastle. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with Trippier as well. Obviously, with City. So, but we know, we've seen Trippier this season that he manages to still get points, regardless.
Yeah, it is a split decision though. Dunk or me, which one I play over. But
okay,
I think me is more favourable.
And also we got to speak about potentially chip strategies as well. When to wild card, obviously people that still got free hit, bench boost, etc. But yeah, we're gonna have a lot of videos out on that. I think it's gonna get interesting now, FPL, because this is like chip strategy season where we have to now start planning. A lot of people are going to be playing chips. I think in the coming weeks we're gonna have doubles, we're gonna have blanks, we're gonna have to take hits as well. Like there's gonna be managers taking a lot of hits, I think, coming weeks, because it's gonna be hard to have the perfect team every week. So we're gonna have to plan for that. Michael says Odegaard or Mitoma. Going forward, I mean, I'd probably want Mitoma because I'm looking at Arsenal's fixtures. I mean, in terms of fixtures, obviously Arsenal do have nice fixtures, but Mitoma has that double, so I'd want both ideally. But I'll bring up Mitoma's fixtures. Hold on, is that on the screen? So you look at Mitoma's fixtures. He's got West Ham in 26. 27, he's got a double against Leeds and Palace, which looks quite nice. So you'd probably want him for that. Then Man United, Brentford, and Bournemouth. So yeah, I think he's going to be popular transfer in Mitoma. ahead of that double. And Odegaard as well. We know he's still a good pick for Arsenal. He didn't return obviously so far, but he's got Everton next, obviously in that second game, and then Bournemouth after that, Fulham, Palace, Leeds. These are all winnable games for Arsenal. So I wouldn't be going off Arsenal yet. I still think they're good. Triple attack, double attack. I do think Saka, Odegaard are probably the better picks. I know Martinelli has started scoring again. I think Martinelli now 2 back-to-back goals. So hopefully he might become a better option for the managers that have kept him. But I still think Martinelli, Odegaard, Saka, they're all good picks. Even Nketiah, even though he got that surprise benching. We have to see what Jesus is back. If he's back, then maybe that changes things slightly with Nketiah. Because obviously we'd expect Jesus to come back into the first team. So there's a lot to think about. And I think this is where my favorite part of FPL season, where it's the chips. We use them. I think I've only used my triple captain. So hopefully I do want to make some gains in the coming weeks. Okay, this question, I think for you, Jordan, Watkins or Tony, which one would you pick?
Oh, well, I'd probably pick Tony in the long-term run, because obviously he does double, and he does have a really nice double, Tony. Trying to think what it is, Everton and Southampton. So that's a really nice double you want him for. But at the same time, you have Kane and Haaland, which are 2 players that I would most likely want to keep in the team. So, but if I had to pick just from that question, Michael, I'll say Tony, because he doubles and potentially has another double after that too.
Yeah, that's true. What other comment have we got? Who would you take out of your starting 11 to fit in Odegaard? I mean, it depends who you have in your team. You'll have to send us your team first, and then we can try answer that. I think I read this one. Yeah, Brentford have a nice double. That's why we may want to bring in someone like Tony, even Ben Mee. Like obviously you've got Ben Mee. You could keep a couple clean sheets. Could be decent for those.
And he's dangerous on corners as well, because if Brentford get a corner, he's one of the players to header and score one.
Yeah, he's got a few goals, hasn't he, this season? Which is quite good.
Yeah, I think he's had 3 or 4, Ben Mee. So he had a pretty good season for goals for a defender.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, going back to my team, when I was talking about my plans, I'm not completely ruling out a Game Week 26 wildcard, but it's unlikely. But we'll see. But maybe could get away with it. But the worry is Liverpool play Man United, so a lot of these fixtures, a lot of these players will clash. Rashford, Salah, Darwin, I've got him. People have Shaw, Bruno. So if you load it up on them, they play against each other. Arsenal have a nice fixture against Bournemouth at home, and I'm pretty happy to hold White, Saka, and even Martinelli. If Martinelli starts again in that second game on Wednesday, I'll be more confident of just keeping him now, and until the wild card, when I take him out potentially. Haaland and Mahrez have Newcastle. I'll probably look to sell Mahrez on, as I said, but Haaland's obviously going to stay now. And other than that, I think it might be one of those game weeks where it might be not many transfers. I can see some people just rolling and going with what they have, maybe. And then I think game week 27 is when people will be taking, hits or, using 2 of their transfers. Maybe this is a game week where you want to save a transfer. I'm not sure. Let me know what you guys' thoughts are in the comments below. Are you looking to save your transfer, or are you planning on using one this week? Because obviously we know we're going to want to bring in Brentford and Brighton players and whatnot. Any other questions regarding any game weeks? Because obviously we got to do I think midweek we may do a chip strategy video actually. Have you got any in mind, Jordan, regards to wild card? Have you thought that far, or?
No, I mean I'm waiting for the results of the competitions that will lead to who blanks in 28, because it's very unknown territory in terms of
Yeah.
chip strategies until we know who's going to blank in 28.
Yeah, I think that is probably the best thing to do. We will know more. When is the FA Cup round? It is. I'm just seeing when the FA Cup round actually is. It's next weekend, isn't it? I know. I know Fulham played Leeds on the 28th. Was it? I think. I'm just gonna check because that will help us out in terms of when to use the chips and stuff. So fifth round, yeah, Tuesday the 28th, midweek. So it is basically next week. So we will have to start planning soon in regards to that. Obviously, Stoke play Brighton on the 28th on Tuesday. Leicester have Blackburn. Fulham play Leeds. That is an important game in terms of Liverpool because if, as I said, I think if Leeds win, Liverpool then blank, I believe, in 28. So that will have permutations. If you have Liverpool assets, maybe some people have tripled up on Liverpool. Obviously, I'm doubled up. Obviously, Man City play Bristol on Tuesday. Man United do play West Ham United on Wednesday. And then Sheffield have Tottenham as well on Wednesday. So I would say hold on to at least Wednesday, guys. Let those games finish. And then, right now it's very hard to say what we're going to do. So I don't want to get into too much in chip usage and strategies because, as I said, yeah, Colm, thanks for that. He says Leeds win. Liverpool play Fulham. Yeah, so that's what I mean. So unless that game has happened and we know exactly, because if Liverpool do blank, then we're gonna have to maybe potentially start getting rid of a Nunes or a Trent. But if Liverpool do double, we maybe just keep them. And also we can decide about our chips and stuff. Whether if someone has a really nice double, then maybe someone could use a triple captain chip on that week. I know there's going to be more doubles in game week 32. I think 34, 36 is usually a decent double as well. So there's a lot of doubles that are going to be rescheduled and it's going to be interesting. But as I said, we're going to wait till the FA Cup and then plan and that in that sense. Do you want to add something, Jordan?
It's just to Dan's comment from earlier because he asked the question, who would I take out of the starting 11 to fit in Odegaard?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I'll take out potentially Tony, as much as that sounds crazy, because he has a nice fixture. It does create a benching headache having Tony on the bench.
He's
but
got
it
a
also,
nice double, though, coming up.
It's only for this week, I think.
Oh.
I'll be benching him for to make the transfer for Odegaard for Almiron. It's just for 1 week, I think. It does create a benching headache, but you never know. One of these players in my starting 11 could potentially be injured or surprisingly benched for one game. So I always like to keep one player decent on the bench in case that happens.
Michael says Estupinian, Luke Shaw, or Ben Mee. If we look at all three of those players, first of all, let's look at Luke Shaw's fixtures. So Luke Shaw plays Liverpool next. Whether you think Man United keep a clean sheet against Liverpool Anfield, they could, the way they're playing. Obviously, they were quite good defensively today, I thought, against Newcastle. Then they got Southampton, which is a good game, I think, for Man United at home. Brighton, Newcastle. So I don't know how many clean sheets you foresee there for Man United. I could see a couple in there. But as we said, Brighton have that double, so I'd be tempted with Estupinian. I've sold Luke Shaw anyway, so I would probably prefer to go with a Brighton defender, just because of that double, really, and then a double again potentially in game week 29, and that is against Brentford and Bournemouth as of now. So I would be tempted to go with Estupinian or Ben Mee as well. I think Jordan owns him. I think someone asked us, didn't they? Should we bring Ben Mee in? And we said no because he blanks. But now he's had his blank. He's now a good buy because he's got Fulham in 26. Then he's got Everton and Southampton in a nice double, great double, I'd say. I can see a clean sheet in that one, at least one clean sheet. Then he's got Leicester at home, Brighton as well after that, and then he gets a bit tougher with United in game week 29 double. But these next couple games are quite good for Brentford. And I know they've not been as good, haven't they, recently? They drew back-to-back games against Palace and Arsenal. conceding in both. The last clean sheet was against Southampton in 22, but they're still a good team, Brentford. And I would be looking to bring in those players ahead of someone like a Luke Shaw right now. Obviously, Jordan, you own Luke Shaw. What's your plans with him? Are you going to want to bring in? Obviously, you already have Ben Mee, but like someone like a Estrupinian, even Dunk.
Yeah.
Are you going to play Dunk? I'm assuming you're going to play Dunk in those weeks.
Yeah, I'm kind of annoyed at myself. I wish I rather had Estupinan instead of Dunk, because obviously I didn't realise Estupinan would be playing more minutes and more sort of nailed. And he has had really nice returns as well. Even when Brighton have conceded, he's managed to get an assist from a few of their goals as well. So I think Estupinan is 110%. Definitely want to bring him in if you want a Brighton defender. I think he's probably the most outstanding one you could probably want in your team.
Because I'm looking at his games against Fulham. They did lose. So obviously he only played 61 minutes in that one. Looking at Palace, he got an assist against Palace, which was quite nice. He got an assist. I believe he got 2 assists against Leicester. Is that correct? For a 9-pointer. Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Against Liverpool, he did get a 6-pointer as well for the clean sheet. So obviously they beat Liverpool, didn't they, in Gameweek 20. But yeah, I didn't realize he did get 2 assists against Leicester in that 2-2. So that looks good. And against Palace as well, he got an assist. So he's on 3 assists, 4 assists, 5 assists for the season now, I believe. So and 3 of them have come in literally the last 4 game weeks. So Estupiñán definitely on the radar. Fixtures are nice. He has a double. I think he's going to be a popular transfer in. So yeah, he's one that I'll be considering into my team definitely.
Yeah, definitely for Michael's comment, I would want all 3 of those players in the team: Estupiñán, Shaw, and Ben Mee, I think, as the defenders for going forward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they all looking good, and they've got some decent fixtures as well. Anything else that we got to discuss? What's your thoughts on Nketiah? Are you worried about his benching, or do you think it's just a one-off game? Does anyone know when Jesus is back? Because he should be returning soon, shouldn't he?
Yeah, I think he's been trained, hasn't he?
I'm actually not sure exactly, unless anyone knows in the chat.
I've heard rumours he's meant to be back near the end of February, because he's currently training now, recovering. So maybe we'll see him after, beginning of March, maybe, in whatever fixture Arsenal have.
I'm just going to check when he's actually expected to be back, because not unless there's any Arsenal fans in the chat, let us know. He's not ready. I know he's not ready for action, like to play. I think that's what Arteta said, but the last update was that he continues to make progress. So when we wildcard, maybe we have him on our wildcard. It's going to be interesting to see. I know Luis Diaz, I think, is coming back soon as well for Liverpool. He should be fit in a couple of weeks' time. Not that many people will be on Liverpool assets right now, but just in terms of injuries to big players. But yeah. Yeah, anything else any subject you want to chat about that we've maybe missed out on? It's been obviously another fixtures to come on Wednesday, second half.
Yeah, hopefully they bear better fruit than the first lot of fixtures have, because there have been a lot of blanks for those double game week players and not many points for them. So hopefully in these Wednesday fixtures they can sort of boost the numbers up, because they are pretty low. I mean, the average is only about 36, I think, points. So pretty low average for teams. Most of us have the same players, but yeah, hopefully there's more fortune going forward into the Wednesday fixtures, and then the red arrows can turn into greens.
Yeah, I was annoyed at the last minute red arrow for me. I should have got a decent green, but it is what it is. More game weeks to come, and pretty much most of my chips are in play that I can use. So we'll see. If anyone's got any questions though in the chat, let us know, guys. In regards to Game Week 26, I think, as we said, FA Cup. After that, we're gonna make videos on when we're gonna, plan to use our chips and whatnot. But apart from that, I think we've covered most of it really.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Brighton and Brentford doubles coming up. I mean, there's going to be an exciting period for who brings who in. I mean, I've set myself up for that. Hence why I'm using a free hit, because I do want, obviously, my double Brentford and double Brighton going forward into the coming weeks for the doubles. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty good.
Okay. But yeah, I think that's it, guys. We're probably gonna wrap it up here. Let's take this off the screen. We are back again on Tuesday. We're back Tuesday around obviously 7 p.m. UK time for transfer tips video, and then we're back again, obviously streaming on Thursday, which is going to be, that's normally team selection, and deadline stream is a Saturday deadline, isn't it?
I'm not sure actually when the deadline is. I haven't checked.
Yeah, Saturday 4th of March. So yeah, we'll be back Saturday at 10 a.m. For the deadline stream as always. So yeah, that's it from us, guys. I want to say a big thank you to everyone who has watched. Hope you enjoyed your weekend as well. Hope you enjoyed the football. And hope to see you guys Tuesday for that transfer tips video as always. And anyway, that's it from us. And take care, guys. Anything else you'd like to add, Jordan?
Just thank you guys for watching the stream. Always appreciate it. Have a nice week as well. Enjoy the rest of your weekend too, and hopefully you enjoy the football come Wednesday. We'll see if it's a green or red arrow. So take care and have a nice week.
Yeah, have a nice week, guys, and we'll see you soon. Take care.